Village Reef is their home, built on a pile of gold. And for the young and the old, life and work just carry on. So take a good look and you'll see that they're ordinary people like you and me. Feel free to come to the Village Reef.
Oh, anything from the retreat board?
No, they're all for you.
It's incredible the number of people who've written. Some I've never even met. People who knew Dad years ago and have never forgotten him.
But he resigned.
My head office asked me what I thought when he applied. I said, okay.
You what? I don't understand.
I took a gamble. I thought head office were coming a fast one. I thought if I accepted Clay, they would back down. I thought I was calling their bluff.
But after all the rows, the unpleasantness, can it work?
It'll have to, Cynthia. Too late to do anything about it now. Better break the news to Quintus and Vic.
$100.
Between the four of us.
You've been buying and selling hundreds and hundreds of rand behind my back.
It was my money, not yours.
And Ted's money? How long has this been going on for?
Oh, long ago we bought some Deepflay shares. Now we've sold them and bought Village Reefs, that's all.
That's all. You buy and sell hundreds and hundreds worth of rand behind my back and you say, that's all. You can't even fill in my ledger and get it right. How much money have you lost?
Who said we lost any?
Ted told Adele you lost his money. You lost it on the stock market.
It's in Village Reef shares. And when Village Reef shares go up, we sell. Then you won't be complaining.
And when will that be?
Could be tomorrow. Maybe next week.
Cheetah, they better go up soon, because you owe Ted Dixon money and I'm going to see he gets it back. Every bit of it! Every bit of it! Oh!
I hope we don't have any disagreements over the Esmeralda pillar. I have some pretty clear-cut ideas on how to tackle this job, you know.
Well, if you do have any disagreements, we'll sort them out amicably around the table.
What is Clay's approach to highly mechanized mining?
Oh, I'd say, conservative. He'd need to know they're the right methods. He'd also need to feel that all the bright ideas weren't coming from someone else, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I follow.
Your approach to mining is progressive, Quintus, which is very laudable. Basil is practical, more cautious. You might say that I'm somewhere in between. It'll be my job to find the happy medium. The happy medium.
Yeah. For better or worse. Most women these days marry for more or for less.
I'm watching our money too. These shares better go up and they better go up soon, otherwise there's going to be a lot of trouble. I've been looking at the old papers and Village Reef have been sitting on 17 cents for 3 days.
Our money? That's my money in those shares, not yours.
We married too. For better or worse, till death us do part.
You don't have to keep on reminding me.
Hi, Connie.
Hi, Mrs. Wilmot. Have you finished packing?
Oh, I've come for some more boxes. Those nice big ones if you've still got them.
Oh, yes. Cheetah, don't get Mrs. Wilmot some of those nice big bottles out the back.
Well, Connie, have you heard the news?
No, what news, Mrs. Wilmot? I've heard the news about Sonia Conradi. She's only 15.
No, the news about the new assistant manager.
Oh, no, Mrs. Wilmot. Who's it going to be?
Are you telling me there's something I know that you don't know?
Well, Basil, fate certainly played an unexpected hand on this occasion.
Nell and I were shocked to hear about Buller. We'd have come to the funeral, but we couldn't get away. There was some trouble on the mine. Breakdown on the plant.
Yes, he's certainly going to be missed. However, life goes on and the wheels have to be kept turning. Have a drink.
Thank you.
Scotch.
Yes, please. I'm delighted to hear Village Reef still has a future. There were some rumours. They even got as far as us.
We came close to a 40% retrenchment. I had head office breathing down my neck. The Esmeralda shaft pillar saved our bacon.
When do we start work?
I've had Quintus van Beek working on the preliminary planning. I didn't want to take any major decisions until I knew who my deputy was going to be. I'd like you to take charge of the operation as soon as you start. Cheers.
Anything I particularly need to know in the meantime?
Well, if you have time, I'd like you to have a chat to Van Beek. He'll fill you in on all the details. He's got some very interesting ideas on mechanized mining.
It's going to be good to be back. Copper mining just wasn't my ball game. Nell hated the place.
Basil, you and I got to know each other pretty well when you were underground manager, and I think you came to realize that I am not one for pulling punches. When head office appointed you my number 2, I was surprised, to say the least.
Yes, I knew I wouldn't exactly be welcomed back with open arms.
The point I'm trying to make is this. I am not one for harboring grudges. A decision has been taken, and I accept it. And I'll do everything in my power to make it work. You'll have my full support. I trust I have yours.
Of course.
Unfortunately, not everybody in Village Reef has the same attitude. I feel it only fair to tell you that your appointment caused quite a lot of resentment. You're going to be running into quite a bit of hostility.
I'm prepared for that. I'm quite used to it, in fact.
However, I will try to defuse the situation as much as I can, but there's a limit to what I can do.
We'll work it out.
Yes, of course we will.
Nell was wondering about the house.
Oh, this isn't the first time I've measured up here for curtains. Do you remember just after Harry Styles died and we all thought Buller was going to get the job?
Well, now you've made it.
Yeah, even if by rather a roundabout route. 3.5 meters. Really, you know, it was the most dreadful place. I couldn't have stuck it for another month. You know, I couldn't even get a bridge ball going. I've never met a more apathetic bunch of women. And as for the men...
Well, you'll be able to take my place on the bridge team.
Oh, you'll always be able to come and play with us. Be able to catch up on all the scandal of Village Reef.
If you have to make a break, I think it's best to make it a clean one.
You know, I picked up the most magnificent stinkwood chest at a sale the other day. Wonder where would be the best place to put it.
Oh, I won't have much room in my new flat for the dining room suite, so if you're interested...
Not really, Bets. This cupboard might be useful.
No, I'll be keeping that. We had it ever since we were first married. It's like that picture. Part of my life.
Pity about that window seat. Can't abide those things.
We had it built for us.
Suppose we'd always have it removed. I can't face it.
Cynthia, either you face it and accept the situation, as I have, or else I'm going to be looking for a new secretary. You've got to work as a team, otherwise this mine will go to pieces. Basil Clay has my full support. Likewise, he must have yours. What do you want to do about it?
Sounds like an offer I can't refuse.
I'm glad you see it that way. I told Walker to speak to Mr. Van Beek about those new compressors. Give him a ring and tell him about it, will you? You'll probably find him in the shaft office.
Are they really coming back? Ooh, the news is round the mine like wildfire. Nobody can believe their ears.
The Van Beeks must be very upset, eh? Now, I think that he thought that he would get the job.
She was in here the other day. She's a very young, nice little thing, you know. I said to her, Mrs. Van Beek, we're all holding thumbs for your husband.
Shame.
Hij staat credible in de aanwijs. Even achter in de aanval. Pak je de twee. Haplopen en geven Piet Strijdom. Piet Strijdom naar die voorkant en naar de sportvinger.
Hang on a sec. They're 5 minutes from Northern Town. I can't understand it. You know, they have one of the best flowers in the country and they go and play that stupid idiot. Selectors. They just need to pick the names out of a hat. They could pick a better team than this one.
Yeah, I'm looking for Mr. Van Beek.
Sorry, man. I'm Van Beek. Please, take a seat. Mr. McRae's secretary said you'd be coming to see me. Cigarette?
No, thank you.
You know, I reckon Northerns are going to get hammered in the Currie Cup this season. Just wait until they play Providence. It's going to be a massacre.
You are the section manager, aren't you?
Sure. Look, there's no reason for you to get upset over this business, eh?
What business?
Man, 4 of those new compressors you send us are giving us trouble. We can't find out what, but I'm sure you can help us put it right.
I think you've got your wires crossed.
It's not electrical fault, it's definitely mechanical. You are Mr. Walker from Universal Plant.
I'm Basil Clay. I presume you've heard of me.
Well, I'm sorry, man.
Please sit down. This is just an unofficial visit. Mr. McRae suggested I come and see you about the Esmeralda shaft pillar. I gather you've got some ideas on how we should go about it.
I'm sorry, man.
Rice Krispies sugar
And I'm not letting out any secrets, but a lot of people were disappointed.
I've heard that.
There was a very unhappy time when the Clays were here. Now, I'm not giving away secrets because it was common knowledge. Some people even thought Mr. Clay was asked to resign.
Is that so?
Oh, I never believed that. But then you know how people talk. Some people were very rude about Mrs. Clay. They were very spiteful behind her back and even to her face. Now they're going to mind their P's and Q's. The shoe's on the other foot, isn't it?
And 2 packets of chips, please.
Of course, I never had anything against Mrs. Clay. We had our little tips, but that was to be expected. She's a very self-willed person, very determined, and if she doesn't get her way, oh, you'll soon know about it. But then I suppose there's a lot in those people to be admired.
It takes all sorts to make a world.
Ah, live and let live, eh? Is that all for you, Mrs. Van
Yes,
Dyke?
thanks, Connie.
Hello, Connie.
Mrs. Clay.
Basil had to come up and see Mr. McRae about the new job, so I thought I'd come up and say hello to everybody. How are you, Connie? You really are looking well.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Clay. Congratulations. Everybody's talking about you coming back.
Yeah, I bet they are. Oh, I don't believe we've met. I'm Mrs. Clay.
Suzanne van Wyk.
Oh, Suzanne van Wyk. It was your father that took over from Basil as section manager.
No, it was my husband.
Good heavens. They are starting them young these days. Another one of these university whiz kids, no doubt. Do you play bridge?
No, I'm afraid not.
Pity. It's a good thing to learn, you know.
My babe.
You idiot! Are you all right?
I think so.
Connie?
Shopping. I'm looking after things.
Listen, about those shares...
Bad news about Basie Bluchnoot, eh? Basie Bluchnoot. Don't you know Basie Bluchnoot? He's a shift boss on Marispret.
Oh, what about him?
He got fired. Poor bloke's looking for another job. He'll be lucky if he gets one. Especially after what he did.
What did he do?
He talked.
Hey?
Well, he couldn't keep his trap shut, so he got fired. Finished in club. Poor old Basie.
What do you mean you don't get fired for talking?
He did. If he hadn't talked, he wouldn't have got caught. They wouldn't have found out.
Found out what?
Found out what he did. He heard about the results of a borehole in a new area they were prospecting on Marispret. So he quickly runs out and buys Marispret shares.
You mean like we did with...
Shh! Kid, you mustn't even whisper about it. We only talk about it when there's nobody around.
Why not?
Because it's not allowed. It's not allowed to buy shares in your own mine. Because you know what's going on and nobody else does. If Mr. McRae catches us, we'll be fired too. Especially you. Because you knew about that shaft pillar and how they were going to mine it. So whatever happens, Ted, don't say a word about those shares. Not a word. Do you know what that silly fool Basie Bluchnoot did? He went and told his wife. Can you believe it? No wonder he got caught. I mean, can you imagine anyone being so stupid as to go and tell his wife?
It's your stoic fortitude I find so irritating. Why can't you throw a tantrum or break something or let loose with a few oaths? Do something human instead of giving me all this blah about teamwork, burying the hatchet and settling our differences for the sake of Village Reef. Why do you have to be so infuriatingly noble?
Well, perhaps because I don't feel as strongly about it as you do.
Darling, you do. You can't stand Basil Clay any more than I can stand Nell Clay. And his appointment as your deputy, it's a catastrophe.
Only if I allow it to be.
You don't trust him as a person and you don't respect him.
I'm prepared to look for his good points and acknowledge them when I find them.
Ooh, yuck.
Hey, Cheeser. Let's sell those shares quickly.
We can't do that. If we do, we lose a lot of money. We've just got to sit tight and hope something happens.
Let's sell them now, quickly, before anybody else finds out about them.
And lose all our money.
Ach, it doesn't matter about the money.
You mean we bought those shares for nothing? Listen. A few gold shares edged up, notably Village Reef, in anticipation of mining operations in the Esmeralda shaft.
Oh, come on, Cheeser, let's tell Nick and Wally we want to sell them.
Don't be stupid. Our shares are going up. They're 19 cents.
Oh, hello.
What are you two up to?
We were just looking for a spare gearbox for Ted's car.
Hey? Ah! Yeah.
On the share market page. Now you listen to me. You better see that you get Adele's money quickly back to Ted, because if you don't, I personally am going to see that she gets it.
You don't too.
And you would do much better to stay at home with Adele instead of mixing with this crook in the bar with these fellas.
I met his wife today. I thought she was his daughter.
Nice couple.
They're getting in everywhere these days. Business, industry.
They?
Afrikaners. Oh, not that I mind at all, but, you know, I asked her if she played bridge. Silly question.
Things were a bit difficult for them at first. I think they felt a bit out of things. And then a lot of people went out of their way to make them feel at home. Like Betsy and Buller.
Well, now, let's drink to your return. To the big surprise.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back to Village Reef.
Thank you.
Of course, we're not coming back under any illusions. I don't suppose many people are going to go out of their way to make us feel at home. Quite the reverse, in fact.
Nell, don't exaggerate.
Oh, what nonsense. I'm sure everyone's pleased to see you back. Aren't they, Hilton?
Yes, of course.
Come now, Hilton. Basil's already told me about your timely little warning to him this morning.
No?
Well, it's like a bad smell. Pretending it doesn't exist won't make it go away. You better face up to it. It only makes you look ridiculous if you don't.
I was explaining to Basil that although he and Nell can rely on us for our support, they're going to be meeting with a lot of resistance here and there.
Full marks, Hilton, for putting it so tactfully.
Said you didn't give a damn whether you passed or failed, so what are you so worried about?
You look. Well?
Nick Wilmot, I could spit in your eye.
How many distinctions?
Nick Wilmot.
I bet you're not going to miss having him next door.
Well, not the motorbike, certainly. It's been the scourge of our lives for the past 2 long years.
Betsy tells me that the Hellraiser's going all respectable, even taking his matric.
Why, he's written his matric. I'll believe he's passed when I see the certificate.
Still friendly with Wendy, is he? Still the heavy scene?
Whatever that means, you make it sound quite frightening.
My dear, you'd be terrified if you knew half of what the youngsters were getting up to these days.
Oh, Wendy's relationship with Nick has always been a very superficial one.
Could have fooled me.
Oh, he's never been her type. Just a passing fancy. And at last she's beginning to realize it.
Oh, hello. Fancy seeing you so soon. Couldn't wait to get back to Village Green.
Wendy, what on earth have you been doing?
Trail riding.
What?
Well, you know, up on the mine dumps. Vroom, vroom. Oh, it's fantastic.
On the dumps?
On a motorbike?
Who, Nick's?
No, Nick borrowed a friend's bike from me and all his gear. Mind you, I think he's getting my own. Oh, it's fantastic. It really is. I'm hooked.
You're thinking of buying a motorbike?
Yeah.
Where do you plan to get the money?
Sell my car. Nick knows of this fantastic bargain. It's 175cc. It's got 4-stroke engine and an overhead camshaft. Well, I'm going to put knobblies on.
Knobbly?
Yeah, special knobbly tires for scrambling. Anyway, I better go and get changed.
Oh, Wendy, Alistair phoned. He wants to know if you're free this evening.
No, Nick and I are going out to dinner. We're celebrating.
Celebrating what?
Well, Nick got his matric results today.
He passed?
Yeah, with 2 distinctions, maths and science. Doesn't it make you sick?